Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Happy Monday to you. Hopefully you had a very safe and fun weekend. I was able to disconnect from the charts for a little bit and kind of just spend some time with the family. So I recommend you do that every once in a while as well. Make sure you recharge those batteries. It was a terrible weekend for trading, in my personal opinion, as well. I don't really like the choppy behavior we saw. So generally speaking, we're going to look at what this means for us here. We got some pretty interesting little patterns here, of course. You can kind of see fairly clear here. We got this nice little head and shoulders inverse pattern, of course, that could very well potentially take off to the upside here as long as we can hold this lower level here, the shoulder line at about 67,500. So a closure over 67.5 today could spell positivity. We'll double check that and a few other things as well. So if you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. Hope you've learned something today. Quick congrats to our community members. Had some decent profit this weekend. Mostly just some shorts. We had open correction, some shorts and longs. AVAX 37% to the upside. We took that trade 2 days ago. That was leading into Friday. And then of course, Filecoin, we saw, about 58% to the downside. That was a short. We took that profit on Saturday. So again, it's not monumental profit, but profit is profit, folks, and patience pays off. So heads up on that. That is wonderful stuff. If you're curious on all those signals, trade signals, CryptoCash.tech. I have a trading academy and community as well. Everyone's fantastic, though. Thank you so much to my community members for just being awesome parts of my life. Make sure you hit the like button for us if you could, please, as well. Help grow the channel. And let's get started here. So this is the 7-day time frame. Look back for Bitcoin. So heavy amount of concentration liquidation at 74,700, or 75K is a nice round number. We're a ways away from that. I don't think we're going to see that right away. We saw some lower levels liquidated here at about 65,000. I was actually very happy about that because I got a nice little limit order fill. Again, every $500 for every $500 increment for Bitcoin, I'm adding 2 to 4,000 every time. Okay, so just keep on stacking that deck. It feels weird to add to your position. It's in the 60,000 range, honestly, and I do think we will see further downside. Just generally, it kind of feels like that. Again, we don't know any guarantees there, so just make sure you continue to fill your spot bag if that is something that you're interested in doing. Okay, just again, limit orders. That's all you got to do. Those little candle wicks down have a significant benefit. Anyways, the long story short here is that we don't have a ton of liquidation to the downside anymore, which does imply the price could recover, but it doesn't necessarily mean the price will just shoot up because of it. Okay, so truth is, not a lot of people are kind of gun shy and taking longs right now, and I totally get it. And I would do the same thing as well. I don't really feel great about taking longs at this level, but once more, it's just been a very, very messy and choppy chart. Okay, so I don't love trading these conditions, but what else can you do? You kind of got to roll with it. There's some outliers here we're going to talk about later today with Solana, AVAX, Aptos, FTM, some coins I'm looking at for potential long positions here. But at this point, what's Bitcoin going to do? Well, let's talk a little bit about the daily and work our way down. In fact, we can start with the weekly as a matter of fact, just to kind of double check a couple of things. We still have yet to close over 70,000 on the weekly. So our highest point on the weekly here is 69,100. That's literally the previous candle wick. So all this exciting stuff here up to about 73,400, or just say more like 74,000 rather. That's all well and good, but the weekly is basically telling us we have a strong resistance at 69. There's no other way around it. Okay, so does that imply the price is going to drop? It gives us more inclination to believe it should. That's kind of where I'm at. But either way, we're still above all moving averages. The weekly time frame is still going to look fairly bullish. And if we do take a look here, stochastic is starting to swing down, and money flow index, RSI are higher than before. So let's double check this window. When stochastic started to swing down previously, this is what Bitcoin did on the weekly. Okay, remember that 2 months of chop there between 41 and 44K? That's essentially what happened when the stochastic RSI started to swing down on the weekly. Okay, so I am not by any stretch saying the price is going to drop because of this. It's really just one of those situations where if history tends to repeat itself, which it oftentimes does, we could be range bound, in the 60,000 range. Between 60 and 70K is a very rough estimate for the foreseeable future until the Bitcoin halving. Okay? That could very well happen. Or most people are speculating the price is going to continue lower leading into the halving, which on average we see about a 20% correction. Hypothetically, the price continues lower from here. Actually, let's just say 20% from the top. 20% from the top puts us right here at this previous resistance level, or previous support rather, at about what? We're looking at about 58,900. I'd say round number 60,000 would be an even number. Again, that's our 0.236 fib level there. That is a very important level. I think 60,000 or less is a unlikelihood. Okay. Once again, that 20% correction from top to bottom would put us close, plus or minus at that 60,000 range. Okay, so again, just some things to kind of think about there. But the weekly doesn't look fantastic, but it's still not terrible. Okay, the daily is going to tell us similar things as well here. However, this is the first time we've seen this in a very long time. We haven't tested the 20-day SMA since early February. Okay, and coincidentally over the weekend we closed below, swept right back up above it, and now we're retesting it again. Okay, so this level here at about 69,000. Sorry, misspoke. 67,000 or 66.9 is effectively that level that we're going to want to pay attention to. So we lose that level, I do think we could see further downside to retest this ascending trend line here about 60,000. There is potential there. I think it's a little too early to tell, but generally speaking, we're trending towards that. We are diverging on the MACD. We have been so for 3 days. Stochastic RSI is trying to swing up right now, though, of course. That's that momentum from yesterday. So unless we can close again today here at about 67,600, 67.6, 67.5, we're not going to really have much of a leg to stand on. And the reason why I say that too is because, and we'll look at smaller time frames, but there was we have a previous resistance at about 68,500. So getting in that range would be important for us. What I'm getting at here is that we're still fairly bullish in the overall sense here. Again, we're diverging on the MACD, but yesterday's progression or significant recovery leads me to believe that there's still a lot of buying power at the 65K range. So I'm not super bearish on this coin just yet at this point. And again, if we were to be super bearish, 60,000 would be, I would say, a worst case scenario. So do you just dump all your bags and call it? It really just depends on what kind of trader you are, honestly. I don't think 60,000 is a distinct probability, but I think it's a somewhat of a possibility. Anyways, enough theory. Let's talk about this here. We got this, inverse head and shoulders here, effectively letting us know we got, 3 lower lows. It's an interesting pattern the way that it works out, but generally speaking, the play out for this is typically quite high. But again, we got to be able to close above the shoulder line here. So that's why a closure here today, again, above that 0.382 fib, these are smaller time fib levels, at about 67,500 is important. So 67.5 to me is a point of contention. If we close below that, we may very well likely invalidate this inverse head and shoulder pattern. And then also, of course, confirm that we've closed below previous resistance turn support at 67.5. So I think 67.5 is one of those levels we got to really kind of focus on. Closing above or below that might determine a few things here. We want to look, of course, at a few other things as well. MACD is trying to diverge. Of course, that's pretty standard considering what's just happened. I'm not super concerned with that. Stochastic is swinging down here too, so further downside would make more sense here. And we can see, of course, that this RSI at 50 is holding fairly strong. So that does imply that we got some resistance on the chart here for us, which again comes probably in this form here. If we zoom in, let me go ahead and talk about this here. There's a previous resistance level. The price action wicked down. It did, in fact, dead cat bounce, but before it bounced, it had a lot of resistance here at about 68,700. So 68.7, as we can kind of see, is that line in the sand here, excuse me, where we can see the price action having difficulty crossing that level. We are, as a matter of fact, still establishing lower highs and lower lows. Okay, so don't get it twisted in your head that we have an inverse head and shoulders pattern. While that is all well and good, we have a lot of adverse contributing factors likely pushing the price action down further. So do I like trading candlestick patterns? Of course I do. But I like trading them with confirmation and confluence where everything else is kind of working with it. Right now we're still below some key level resistances such as all moving averages minus the 200, which is trailing well behind. So generally speaking here, we've got nothing but resistance above the price action. So I think taking a long right now is kind of a little bit on the iffy side. I think it's more like you're going to get lucky if you take a long position because most everything that we see here is truly bearish. Again, being under 50 in the RSI is like that major thing for me personally, and then concurrently below key level resistance here at about 68.7, and then not even able to close above 67.5 just yet. That's going to tell us a lot. So I think closing today at 67.5 or higher will give us a chance to be able to see this play out. But if we don't, then there's a strong likelihood we're going to see further downside. But again, the market's just trash right now. Personally, I mean, you see this channel that we're working within here. I mean, it's not pretty. There's no other way around it. Okay, so these are not ideal trading conditions, folks. So I totally get it if you're frustrated with maybe less signals or just less opportunity. It happens across the board. Unless you're forcing a trade right now, generally speaking, you're not going to find a tremendous amount of success. However, of course, there are some shorts that are in play. Obviously, the market is completely red today, so you could probably have luck shorting down near any coin. But I would just be careful with that because as soon as Bitcoin recovers, you see some coins just take off. So it's interesting the way that it works. Me personally, I don't like touching this kind of market with a 10-foot pole. So I'm going to be waiting for confirmation personally above 67.5. Let's quickly double check this here too and see where the cloud is at. What do you know? This is perfect. I love the cloud for this reason. Ichimoku is awesome in that sense where it always kind of gives you a definitive line in the sand, letting us know that, hey, this is that important level for us. Okay, so the cloud, the price being within the cloud is effectively letting us know that we haven't broken bearish just yet, but we're getting there. Okay, we got the lagging span below the price action. We got conversion line below the baseline here. And with us being within the cloud, that's generally a no buy zone. So we want to wait for confirmation to take any kind of long. I would say a confirming factor for us today for a potential long. And I wouldn't even recommend that, honestly, because all we have is that one candlestick pattern. Everything else looks truly bearish, is confirming a closure above 67.5. However, by no means is that going to be a bullish sign, folks, because we're under 50 on the RSI on the 4 hour. We're under specific key level resistances. Lagging span is going to be within the price action here soon if the price pulls back. A lot of reasons not to take a long. To me personally, I would be leaning a little bit more towards a consideration for a short. Okay, and that to me right there would be a closure below 67.5. So a closure at 67.5 or lower would imply that we are more likely to go down. So statistically, we have larger probabilities of the price continuing lower because it's established itself as a lower high, lower low pattern, and it continues until it doesn't. I think it's a little premature to presume the price will just recover instantly based on those factors. Once again, there are some positive contributing factors to the upside. It's just not half as much as those indications the price is going to go down further. So I'm leaning a little bit more towards the price going down. Personally, that's just me. I'm sure we can have a difference of opinion, of course, absolutely. And if so, go ahead and comment below. I'd love to hear it, honestly. It's not a problem if you feel different, but generally speaking, I think the point of contention here is this 67.5, 67.6 rather, level. Closing above or below that would, I feel, be somewhat of a deal breaker there. So that is what I'm looking for. And again, I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait until the daily candlestick closes and kind of see where we're going from there. And I would recommend future reference if you're new to the channel or just in general watching, make sure you understand that waiting and being patient is probably the best thing you can do for yourself. Because while you could jump in the market now and maybe catch some nice little profit to the downside, we still haven't confirmed that we're truly bearish just yet. We're mostly there, okay? But we still got to confirm a few things. And a lot of times waiting for confirmation, in my personal opinion, is ideal. Again, if you're day trading or scalping this pretty much doesn't mean much, right? I mean, you want to understand the general consensus of where things are going, but right now it's not important. What is important is being, I think, a little bit more patient if you are a swing trader and recognizing that we're not quite out of the woods yet in either direction, honestly. It's kind of a junky market. I don't personally love trading this kind of stuff, but whatever. You can't always pick and choose the market that you're in. You can, but you can't, right? Anyways. Sorry, I'm rambling again. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you learned something today. Of course, again, make sure you check out Bitunix Phenomenal Exchange. Link down below to register for a trading contest. We do need 30 people to register between now and the 27th. So getting closer there, but check that out. Of course, if you have any questions, go ahead and reach out. Otherwise, CryptoCash.tech is the site where you can register to become a better trader. I look forward to working with you. Have a great rest of your day.